Ever feel like, you're stuck in a maze? Not a fun one, but like one where the exit is essential care for someone you love. And every turn just means more paperwork, more waiting. Sadly, that's the reality for a lot of families here in Texas trying to navigate disability services.
It's a system that can feel very, well, overwhelming is putting it mildly.
Exactly. And that's why, we're doing this deep dive today. We're going through this investigative report from Texas Watchdog, really trying to untangle why it's so hard to get these services for folks who need them.
Right. Got to cut through the red tape, see what's really going on.
Absolutely. And one of the first things that hit me in the face reading this report was the sheer number of people stuck in this system. Over 170,000 people right here in Texas stuck on waiting lists for Medicaid waiver programs.
Yeah, and those waivers are key. We're not talking about extra perks. These waivers fund things that can make or break someone's ability to live a good life outside of an institution.
Right. In-home care, therapy, help integrating into the community, stuff that should be available, not something you got to wait decades for.
Sadly, that's the reality for too many. And when you read through this report, one story in particular really stuck with me, the Handley family.
Oh, yeah. Their situation is it's heartbreaking. They applied for services for their daughter, Caytlin, 16 years ago. 16 years, and they're still waiting.
16 years. It just highlights how behind these huge numbers, there are real families, real people facing these impossible choices, these roadblocks, just trying to get basic support.
It makes you wonder, is the system itself part of the problem? So we've talked about those insane wait times, but it's what's the root of it all? Why is this system so jammed up?
The report really boils it down to one thing. Funding.
Yeah.
Texas just isn't putting enough money where its mouth is when it comes to these services. Too many people need help, not enough resources to give it.
It's like showing up to, I don't know, a concert, but the venue's a tenth of the size it needs to be for everyone in line, except, we're talking about healthcare here, not a rock show.
Exactly. And get this, Texas, they use this first-come, first-served system for the waivers. Seems fair at first glance, maybe?
Yeah, get in line early, right? Seems like that'd be the thing to do. How's that a problem?
Well, think about it. Needs change, especially with disabilities, developmental stuff.
Yeah.
You wait 10 years to get your kid the therapy they needed at 5. They're 15 now. Their needs are totally different. What was offered back then doesn't even apply anymore.
Oh, man, that's rough. So it's not just about getting in line. It's about getting the right help at the right time, which even then, who knows if it'll even be what's needed after years on a wait list.
And tragically, for some folks, the clock just runs out. Report talks about people literally dying on the wait list before ever getting the help.
It's like winning a lottery ticket, but they deliver the prize years later, and it's like, a stale loaf of bread. Doesn't even help anymore. And you know what else is crazy? Texas doesn't even, check if you qualify before you get on the list.
Yeah, the article called it a cruel game of wait and see, and I gotta say, spot on. Families could be waiting years, holding on to hope, only to be told, nope, don't meet the criteria once they're finally at the front. Brutal.
So you're stuck in line forever, and then might not even get past the bouncer at the door anyway. Talk about adding insult to injury. So, knowing all this, it's easy to feel kind of hopeless, right? Are families just stuck in this messed up maze forever?
Well, the report does offer a glimmer of hope. There's this thing called the Handley bill that's been gaining some traction.
Okay, so Handley bill, break that down for me.
So remember the Handley family. This bill is named after them, and basically it aims to make sure families know about these Medicaid waiver programs, right away. As soon as diagnosis happens, boom, information's there.
Oh, so instead of wandering around in the dark for years, they'd at least know what they're dealing with, could get on that wait list sooner.
Exactly. And it even gets into the nitty-gritty. The bill, it highlights these things called LIDAs, Local Intellectual and Developmental Disability Authorities. Basically, county-level groups that connect folks with the services they need.
Hold on. So if the Handleys had a LIDD back when Caytlin was younger,
they might have gotten on that wait list way, way sooner. See, the Handley bill, it wants schools to be required to refer kids with disabilities to their LIDA the second they're diagnosed. No more waiting, no more hoping, just immediate support.
Wow, that'd be huge. Having someone to guide you through the system, make sure you're not missing out on help. But didn't the article say something about LIDAs being kind of overwhelmed themselves?
Yeah, unfortunately it's true. Handley bill's great for early intervention, but a lot of these LIDAs are already stretched thin. Goes back to that funding problem we talked about.
It's like a vicious cycle, huh? Families are left hanging, and the groups supposed to help them are drowning in need. And we can't forget about the caregivers in all this. Man, they're the unsung heroes.
No doubt. If you're caring for someone with a disability, especially with a system this tough, you're fighting tooth and nail every day. Report talks about the isolation, the burnout, financial strain, even health problems caregivers face.
It's like they're carrying the weight of the whole system on their backs on top of everything else.
And that's what really gets me,
Right.
This isn't just about policies and numbers on a page. These are real people, real families going through it.
So, where does that leave us? What's this takeaway for folks listening, trying to wrap their heads around all this?
For me, it's the power of one story. As awful as the Handley situation is, it's gotten people talking, brought attention to this messed up system, inspired folks to fight for change.
Shows that even when it feels impossible, there's still hope. Even small things, sharing the story, signing a petition, calling your rep, it can make a difference.
Exactly. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but the Handleys remind us that change happens one step at a time. And for anyone listening who's touched by this personally or knows someone who is, you're not alone. There's help out there. Folks fighting the good fight. Always hope.
If this got you fired up, don't let that feeling fade. Dig in, learn more, see how you can be part of the solution. And that's our deep dive for today. We'll catch you next time.